Hi there, Dr. Sheep here. Welcome back to another project video. Actually, this entire channel is moving towards science-based projects. That's just what I want to do. It's something that interests me. Hopefully you all stick along with me. So, the aim for this video is fixing a rocket. We've done many rockets on this channel, as you can see by the footage behind you. But the rocket in question is this one. This rocket we launched for a video a long time ago, unpainted. It was just as cheap as we could do it, get it launched for like one little piece of a video. And so I thought, after sitting in my aunt and uncle's basement for years, and then in my apartment for another several months, maybe even a year, I was like, you know what, let's finally launch it. So that's what this video is. It's me fixing it and then finally launching it. So let's tell that story. Also, we're doing more voiceover now. Let me know what you think. Hey there, YouTubers! Alrighty, that was a fun intro. You know my intro, it's the same as always. So, the first step is to find a nice place to paint the thing. Also, I never filmed it, but I fixed one of the fins. It had come off, and I hot glued it back on. You should use epoxy, but you know what? Back then, I didn't know you were supposed to use epoxy, and even now, I'm like, screw it, let's just use hot glue. It's what I've got. So that's what I did. I fixed it. I then taped this cardboard together and put it out on my patio. It was warm when we started, but it got colder and colder, which meant it took the paint longer and longer to cure and set up. And so you'll see these through these shots. I'm not putting on multiple coats. I did one coat of red. I just rotated it. Maybe I did two coats. I honest to God don't remember. This was back in like January. It is now April, so who knows? Anyways, and so I can only do one side at a time. I can do like two sides max and then flip it over, do the third side. I was trying my best to do nice light coats to avoid dripping, but again, it's a rocket. You're only going to see it from a long distance, so it didn't really matter how good or bad the job looked as long as it got done. Now, I wanted to do fluorescent green. However, my cousin Phil was like, no, we have to do a red rocket. It has to be red. He clearly never saw that South Park episode.
What's this all about, Kenny? Watch this. It's so funny. Come here, Garden. Come on. Red rocket. Red rocket. Red rocket. Red rocket. Come on. Carmen, what the hell are you doing? I'm milking the dog. They make dog milk. No, they don't. Yeah, just hold on a minute. The fifth grader showed us how to do it. Red rocket. Come on, dog.
Joking aside, I reluctantly said, sure, let's do a red rocket. And I can't help but smile every time I say that. But as you can see in these clips, I taped off the nose cone. I wanted to keep it white. I figured that'd be a nice contrast. However, as you'll see later on, this didn't work out very well. But more on that later. And in this video, after doing like one or two coats, I really don't remember, I did a clear coat. Yes, I clear coated something. I never clear coat anything. But I'm like, you know what? I want to do this right. I want it to last and be nice and just be a good job. And so I did a clear coat. I'm impressed with myself. I'll hold for my applause. Silly, stupid me. There's clips of me showing you pulling off the tape, trying to remove the red paint that was on the nose cone and pulling the red tape off of the engine housing, and lo and behold, the red paint doesn't come off. I tried alcohol. I don't have acetone, but maybe acetone would have worked. So, accepting defeat, it was time to go to plan B, which was just paint it. And I think these clips reveal that I did at least two coats of red paint. Maybe it was three. Oh gosh, I'm repeating myself. Anyways, so that's the rest of these clips. I paint the nose cone. I then clear coat the nose cone. Wow, so interesting. But no, that's what we did. I had to adapt, improvise, and overcome the mistake I did before, which was grossly overspraying the nose cone. Oh well. But the engine compartment, perfect. Chef's kiss. Excellent. Turned out great. Nose cone, not so much. But let's move along in the story to the next point. So the next step is making wadding. Wadding is fire-resistant paper. Don't believe me? Here's regular paper towels burning versus the homemade wadding that I made. It doesn't really want to burn. Now, why would you make this? And you do it to protect your parachute. Why do you want to protect your parachute? Well, more on that later. So, as you can see, I broke out the lab equipment. I never get to use the lab equipment, and so I decided to use it. I did just use a beaker to hold a round bottom flask, but whatever. Anyways, I'm following the Kingdom of Random's recipe on how to make wadding. Link in the description to his video. Basically, it's an oversaturated solution of baking soda and water. The baking soda protects the paper towel from burning by generating a layer of carbon as it tries to burn. Now, why do you want to protect the parachute? Well, you want to recover it. And the only reason why you need to protect the parachute is because when the engine finishes the end of its cycle, it releases a blast of hot air through the rocket to knock the nose cone off and to shoot the parachute out. Well, in my original one, luckily, the parachute didn't get engulfed in flames. It did get a little burned. I never did show that because, again, that video was not about model rocketing. It was about big rockets. I didn't show that process. But it did burn the parachute slightly, and so way back then, I replaced the parachute. I don't show any of that because, again, this was years ago when I did that. Anyways, so I soaked the paper towels in the solution and then let them dry. Now, there's many different ways to do this. I put them in this dish rack, and that could have been it. It could have just stayed like that, and it would have been perfectly fine. But I cut up a fruit box and built an apparatus to hold my box fan over it. Why did I do this? I don't know. It was to speed it up, I guess. Did I need to do this? No. This is a YouTube video. Everything's over the top and unnecessary. But in this process, there was an accident. I stabbed myself in the leg. It was a very light stab. Really wasn't the end of the world. I didn't bleed that much. I'm okay. But I'm going to take this moment to tell you a bit of knife safety. There are two main rules when using knives. Number one is a sharp knife is always better than a dull knife. Why is a sharp knife better than a dull knife? It prevents slippage. The second one is to always cut away from you. In this case, I was using a dull knife and cutting towards me. I broke the two fundamental rules of knife safety, and that resulted in me getting stabbed in the leg. So the best thing you should do is get a replaceable utility knife like this. You can take the old blade out and replace it with a sharp, brand new one. You don't have to worry about trying to sharpen a paring knife for another knife. It's also meant to cut things like this instead of something like a kitchen knife or a paring knife, as I mentioned earlier. So follow these rules and you'll be safe, okay? Okay. This next step, explaining the video is kind of stupid. It's not really necessary because if you just follow the instructions in the altimeter booklet, yes, I used the digital altimeter to know the height of the rocket at its peak in its flight, but it never worked. What you're seeing behind you is me drilling holes. These holes are to equal the pressure on the inside of the rocket to the pressure on the outside of the rocket. I think it uses air pressure to know its altitude, but it never worked. And so it's kind of redundant. Sorry for the spoilers. But I have to drill these holes. I don't know if they just got covered up or I just didn't follow the instructions correctly. Maybe try and find a different YouTube video on how to get to use these little digital altimeters and how to do these holes, because it's been a month. I don't remember how to do this. So, sorry. Finally, the last few steps. So one of the last things you want to do is load the parachute. So you put in a few balls of the wadding. You just need, like, if you have a full square, so it's like a big square of paper towels that you used, cut that in half and you get two lengthy pieces, and cut that in half again and you get a little square. That's how much you need. 2 or 3 of those is plenty of wadding for this. You stuff the parachute in, you try and arm your altimeter, and that part's good to go. Next step is to load the engine. So in this rocket, the instructions say to cover the back end with a 1/4 inch width of masking tape. And you do, I think, like 20 times around. And then you insert it into the rocket tube. And then you screw over that end cap after removing the excess tape. And the rocket's good to go. Once you do that, you can then insert the igniters. I lost my igniters, and so I had to find new ones. This was a whole process. Not going to get into it. We went to multiple stores, and I finally just said, screw it. I'm going to use these igniters that aren't really meant for these motors, because these motors aren't sold in hobby stores anymore because they're too powerful. You can get them on Amazon still, but yeah, F motors, I think this is what they are. They're too powerful for conventional hobby stores. The rocket was finally ready, and I couldn't have asked for a better day to launch this rocket. It was perfectly clear, which was something Phil desperately wanted, and I really wanted no wind. And if there was going to be a wind, it had to be very gentle, and it had to be out of the north. This morning was the perfect culmination. We had like a 2-hour launch window. I had to drag Phil's butt out of bed early because he was like, this is too early to do this. Why do we have to do it today? I'm like, I want to get this done. And this is what follows. We have 3 views. We have my GoPro on my head. We have my phone up and close. And then we had Phil really far away. So let's just watch what happens, and then I'll come back and talk. Rocket is armed! 3, 2, 1. Oh, there it is. Wow, that went high. Is it coming down right on him? Yeah! All right, let's go get it. Right next to your brother. Yeah! Woo! There's not footage. It just tells you what it is.
This is 0.
So I need my screwdriver here. The instructions were very vague. They're like, once you're in record mode, you should be good to go. Did you get it on the camera? Or?
I don't know what angle I was at though.
Oh, why didn't you?
Well, see, I realized as soon as I started holding it, I can't let the camera go and look at the angle. Can we do another lunch or no?
No.
Oh. Can you guesstimate what angle it was?
Well, it held up great though.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, it is pretty cool though, because I saw the smoke trail, and then after the smoke trail, I could see a red line, and then as soon as it reached highest point, I was like, holy shit. Because then the parachute deployed, and I saw it the rest of the way down. I don't know if I got it in the camera. I tried to, but I saw it because it landed right in front of me.
Yeah, I know. Your brother was like, did you know it was going to go there? I'm like, no, but...
It landed right in front of me. I was like, holy cow.
Yeah. That's pretty... Wow.
But how was this supposed to work?
Well, you're supposed to basically, you hold down the button, it goes into record mode, and then you're good to go.
But how does it tell you what the highest point is?
So it records it in record mode. But apparently, it didn't work. Whatever. It's going back. I don't give a about it. Wow. It still went a long ways.
Yeah.
You really wonder how far it would go at a 33-degree angle. Just.
Well, because I wonder. I don't have. It was.
And that was it. So it launched, and then Phil and I just kind of talked about the whole experience afterwards a bit more. And yeah, it went really high. We have no idea. he realized afterwards that he needed more than just the 1 or 2 points of reference he had to do the calculations. He wanted to figure out how high it went using math, but he was only able to get a very large range. And, I said according to Box, it could have gone somewhere in that range, but we have no idea. So, great success. It was a great video. You're just seeing the background, us talking about it, me driving out to go see the rocket. It was a great video, and let me grab the rocket. Sorry for the crappy quality. I'm shooting on the webcam because I didn't want to download more footage, but here's the rocket. Let me move the mic out of the way. Here's the rocket. It looks just fine. So, yeah, that's it. That's the whole video. Anyways, let me know what you think of these project videos and the voiceover. I think the next one won't have as much voiceover, but we'll see what happens. I would just like to thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. New videos end of the month, every month. And we're very close. I shouldn't say we're very close. We're like 50 some odd subscribers away from 700. Get us there. I would think it'd be really cool if we could hit 1,000 by the end of the year. Also, I kind of want to get a Patreon. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that. It'd be like $2 a month at the most. You have exclusive Snapchats. I'd make a Dr. Sheep Snapchat. You would get podcast extras. So basically, Phil and I record the hour-long podcast, and then we'd have an additional conversation we have after the podcast. And then also, you'd get these videos sooner. So let me know. And good night.
Subs for trees. Subs for trees. Subs for trees. Subs for trees. Oh, you're still here? I thought I told you to go home. Oh, you want more? I'm flattered. Check out the playlist. If you want exclusive content, check out my Instagram, Dr_Sheep_YouTube. That's all lowercase. If you want to help the earth, subscribe. When I reach 100 subscribers, I'm going to plant 10 trees. If you feel that's too small, then check out my channel chart where I lay out even bigger goals. Finally, stick around for the next 20 seconds to give me that sweet watch time. Bye.